Welcome to again. This is Unit 1, Module 2, and this is the music elements, the elements of music. No matter what kind of music we talk about, there is basically a handful of elements that are common, no matter if we're talking about classical music or jazz or rock music or pretty much any type of music you want to talk about and think about as well. And pretty much the elements are, we have rhythm, we have dynamics, melody, harmony, texture, tone color, and form. Let's talk about each one of these one by one. First off is rhythm. First off, rhythm is very important to music. So first off, we have a beat. This is also known as a pulse. Tempo is the speed of the beat, so that's a slower tempo, a faster tempo, and somewhere in between as well. Meter is an accent and pattern that helps musicians know where the beat is and so forth. So for those out there that had band or choir or whatnot, what time is this in if I'm clapping this? Hard to tell, right? Now what if I do this? And with that accent, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Without that accent, it is really hard or almost impossible to tell what meter we're in. So we need that accent to know where we're at. Syncopation is when we're playing off the beat, on or off the beat. So if I were to play, basically, if I were to stop, that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the one, stopping, and then this is off. When I'm clapping a period, I'm clapping off the beat. Now, for syncopation, you absolutely have to have something that's on the beat to be able to tell if it's off the beat. So if I just do this by itself, you can't tell if it's on or off the beat. I guess it's really on the beat right now. But if I tell you this is the beat, you can tell that's syncopated as well. And if I were to do something on the piano, if I were to play some ragtime, that's syncopated, and the boom chuck is on the beat, and you put it together. That's syncopation, and of course there's other aspects of syncopation as well that we have there. Beats can be regular. Beats can be irregular. And you can also think of it as being symmetrical or asymmetrical. So they either can be symmetrical or asymmetrical. Basically, when musicians talking, use Italian terms. So we say largo, and that's slower. And then we have a Dante, and then we have moderato and allegro, and it kind of creases up in different these Italian terms that you can look up on Google if you need to as well. So largo is slow, moderato is medium speed, presto is fast on there. And if you look at your watch, basically every time a second goes by, you have that's 60 beats per minute. If I were to double that, that's more of a medium tempo, and then that's a lot faster tempo there. So that would be a presto mark that we use it from these Italian terms. Basically, if you think of this as well, the beat is basically what a song is. If I were to do this, what song is this? Anybody know? How about Happy Birthday? And so with that, I didn't give you any melody, I didn't tell you any words, but this with the rhythm alone, you can kind of figure out what that is on there. Let's go on. Dynamics is how loud, how soft music is. This here is an electric keyboard, but if it was a real piano, what's the full? There's a name for the full piano. It's called a pianoforte, and the reason why it's called pianoforte is because piano means soft and forte means loud. So that means I can play really soft or really loud. And that's the thing that made the difference between this keyboard instrument and other instruments, is that pianoforte you can play loud and soft. So if you remember piano means soft and forte means loud, remember the piano itself, that kind of helps you remember a little bit with that as well. And Isimo means more fortissimo, pianissimo, and then mezzo means medium, and so you kind of have it together as being a gradation of volume. So you can play really, really, really soft. And it took me years to be able to learn how to do that on the piano. And you can also do that on the guitar as well. Melody is the part that you can sing of it. So if I were to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, that's definitely a melody there. If I were to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Okay. And if you think of melody as a horizontal aspect of pitch, basically a melody has one line of music. So if you're looking at a piece of music, you see it going up or going down there as well. Harmony is where basically you have more than one notes going on. So our system in our Western music is based off of triads, off of what they call tertiary harmony. So we got, that's a chord there. On there. So if you think of the piano part, maybe the Hey Jude, if I... So the chords, I'm playing the chords to Hey Jude there. And then there would be a melody on top of that, if I were singing the song. So that's the vertical aspect of pitch. So remember, melody is a horizontal aspect of pitch, and then harmony is the vertical. So you think of it being stacked together. So melody, harmony. Harmonies can be consonants. Harmonies can be dissonant. So I can have a nice happy chord, or I can have a really dissonant chord. And with dissonance, song over? Now it is. We are conditioned to hear that draw. That's called a tritone, and it wants to be resolved. Can you hear that? Yeah, now you know the song. So definitely. Well, we talked about this a little before on the other unit, but I want to go make sure everybody's clear about monophonic, homophonic, and polyphonic. Monophonic, a single melody line, no harmony. Homophonic, I got chords along with a melody. And polyphonic is more than one melody at the same time. So on that point there, I never played the same, with each hand I had a different melody line going on that there. So we have simple, we have what we normally hear with that homophonic, and then with polyphonic we have complicated. So you think that polyphonic is more than one melody at a time. Most of the music that we listen to is what? And if you watched the previous video, you probably know. It is based off of homophonic. If I were to sing a song, you know, Mary had a little lamb, a little lamb, a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Chords and singing together make homophonic. So if you think most of the songs you listen to today, or most of the songs that we're talking about rock and roll, is based off of this homophonic texture here. And if you go back in time, medieval, Gregorian chant. Baroque period, we had the fugue, which was polyphony. And then in homophonic, we start in the classical time period, we have symphonies and operas, piano sonatas, and those are all homophonic. And that homophonic texture has gone from the classical period to where we're at today. So that makes life a lot easier to understand. And I got some examples that you can go listen to. So like if you want to hear something that's monophonic, maybe check out Janis Joplin's Mercedes-Benz and check out that song there. And you can Google that and find that link there. Maybe the intro to Day Tripper, you can find that on the internet as well if you want to hear that. And only the intro part is that. And then the Beach Boys singing the intro to like Surfer Girl, that might be another good example. And like Light My Fire, basically the guitar solo and the organ in the middle. You can kind of listen to that. So you can find those links there on the internet and listen to those as well. Homophonic is basically anything that it has chords and melody. So I was thinking the Monkees' Daydream Believer would be one, or the Beatles' Hey Jude would be a good example. Chords and melody. So you can have it with the piano, you can have it with the guitar. It's same thing. So go check those out with that. So polyphony, monophonic, and homophonic on there. Timbre and tone color I use interchangeably. Basically, that's the unique thing that makes the sound. So how does a piano make a sound? Well, it has strings and it has a hammer. When you press the key down, it hits that. Now this is an electric keyboard, but this is a real piano. That's how it works. On a guitar, well, I'll take a pick and I hit a string, right? That's how I make sounds on this thing. So I'll play on a guitar. I can play more than one note at a time. So I can play a chord, or I can play. melody on it as well. And so I'm using a pick. I can also use my fingers if I want to as well. And that's how it makes sounds. So if you think how a trumpet makes a sound, it buzzes on a mouthpiece. Clarinet has a reed, it vibrates. Violin has a bow that goes over the strings, and it basically sort of massages the strings. Percussion is basically anything you hit. It's a percussion instrument in a lot of ways. So think about that, and you think about the orchestras and all the different colors. And of course, you can Google all that if you're interested in whatever instrument is. You can find that as well on there. Form and structure. Everything we have is some type of form and structure. If I were to take the guitar or the piano, you can see patterns there. And music's the same thing. That we basically have. We have form and structures to it. If I were to ask you to sing the chorus to, let's say, it's a song like Funky Town, you probably remember the chorus. You remember the catchy part of it. You probably don't remember necessarily the verse to that as well. But there's a form and structure to it. Normally, in most popular music, we have a verse and a chorus. And verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, different parts. And what it is, the difference between a verse and a chorus is contrasting material. Either the words are different, the melody is different, the chords are different. Something's different about it. That way you can tell it's a verse versus a chorus. And the chorus is usually the catchy part of it. So whatever song you like, go out and find some of those and figure out what they are. Of course, you can also use Google to figure out, type in Hey Jude chords. You can, a lot of times it's written out, here's the verse, and here's the chorus for this, and here's the bridge for this. And a lot of times it's already written out for you. So you can find that very easily using the internet as well. A couple of forms to talk about. Strophic. It's basically the same music with different words, okay? And so strophic is like a Christmas carol. You think of any Christmas carol out there, Silent Night on there, any Christmas carol, or hymns in church. So you think of Blessed Be the Name. Basically, same music and just different words going on. Binary is that we have A versus B. So let's say that the A verse is a verse, and then B is the chorus. A, B, A, B, A, B on there, and that's binary. So one that pops to mind is, you think of John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads, listen to that. There's a verse and chorus going on there. Ternary is basically you have A, B, A, and the A is just a little bit different. Just a little bit different. And so like a song like the Beatles' Yesterday would be an example of a ternary form. Basically, if you understand form, is that there's a verse and a chorus and maybe a bridge in there, you're starting to understand forms. And whatever music that you like, you can go out there and analyze and use the internet as a tool to be able to do these things. So anyways, that is basically the musical elements sum up as quick as I can say that. So as always, rock and roll.